fruits of your oblations with all your holy things. See. But we got to come back to his laws, statutes, and commandments. What do you think? He's telling us we ain't got to do them. You ain't got to do nothing. You're going to be wicked as ever. Do whatever you want to do. And you're going to make it to the kingdom. That's why he said, verse 38, and I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. You that transgress the Most High's law. You that sin. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn. He's going to bring them out of the country where they sojourn, the four corners of the earth. And they shall not enter into the land of Israel. And you shall know that I am the Most High. You see this going down? Oh, yeah. He's going to get our attention one way or the other. Understand, overstand this. Go to 2nd Ezra, the 14th chapter. We're going to read from verse 1 to 6. 2nd Ezra 14, verse 1. And it came to pass upon the third day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of the bush over against me, and said, Ezra, Ezra. So just like Moses heard a voice coming out of the bush, the angel of the Most High, the Spirit of the Most High speaking to him, same thing Ezra was getting. And I said, here am I, Master. And I stood up upon my feet. Then said he unto me, in the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses. Like I just said in Exodus, the 3rd chapter. And talk with him when my people served in Egypt, when we were in captivity, slavery, and bondage under the Egyptians. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt and brought him up to the mount of Sinai, where I held him by me a long season and told him many wondrous things. Remember, Moses was up in Sinai, Mount Sinai, for 40 days and 40 nights. Moses said, I told him many wondrous things and showed him the secrets of the times. Like you done heard secrets of the times in this lesson. And the end. And commanded him, saying, these words shall thou declare. These words shall you declare. And these shall thou hide. So, if this was for everybody, why would the Most High tell Moses to declare these words and hide other words, other understandings, other mysteries that the Most High gave him? Because it's not for everyone to know. That's why he told him. Told Ezra in verse 9, for thou shalt be taken away from all, meaning he's going to die, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son. Hear that? He said, from henceforth you will remain with Mashiach Yahushua, and with such as be like thee. See, everybody can read this, but are you really understanding what he's saying? Ezra said, hey, he gonna be with those that be like Ezra, like himself, until the times be ended. You know? So he had to come back here. He was told he had to come back here. So he gonna be with his son till the times be ended. That's why I say he gonna be with those that's like Ezra. So how was Ezra? See, those that be like Ezra. That's why when you go to 2nd Ezra 8 and 48, let's see what it says. In this also thou art marvelous before the Most High, which we all should look at this and want to be marvelous before the Most High. In that thou hast humbled thyself. Therefore, you can't be prideful. You can't think you all that. We all in sin and come short of the glory of the Most High. Ain't nobody righteous like the Most High want us to be righteous. So why do you think he got to forgive our sins? But even those that make it. Don't get big-headed, because you done learn a few precepts now. In that thou hast humbled thyself. You know more than Ezra. Ezra was given 204 books. We only got 80. You know, I have more, but majority of our people only have 80 books. And some only have 66. That's in these secular churches and secular religions and so forth. They don't even know about the Apocrypha. And what, you can read it all you want to. You can read the Bible all you want to. If you don't understand precepts, how you going to really make it talk to you? How's it going to speak to you? Listen, this is what Ezra did. And this also thou art marvelous before the Most High, in that thou hast humbled thyself. Remember, Ezra going to be with a Mashiach Yahushua and those that's like Ezra. How was Ezra? That's all we got to look at how he was. In that thou hast humbled thyself as it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. You hear that? You have to be humble. And he didn't think himself to be much glorified among the righteous when he just was told he gonna die, he gonna be with a Mashiach Yahushua to the end be, and with those that's like him. How was he? In that thou hast humbled thyself as it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. These are the things that we're looking at, and looking at how we can come back to the Most High and why he cast us out, because we were contrary to the way the Most High said is marvelous in his eyes. By being prideful and not showing humility and a broken and contrite before the Most High. Like you all that. If so, show your power before the Most High. If not, humble yourself. Like we have to humble ourselves and cry to the Most High. You can't do it if you prideful. That's one time he had pity on us. And then he said, hey, when you cry and you ain't got the right spirit, he ain't gonna hear you. You crying to yourself. You praying to yourself. That's deep when he tell you sometimes people are praying and they praying hard, they praying to themselves. They ain't even praying to the Most High. That's deep, man. Y'all gotta understand this. This is a spiritual connection. Because the Most High is a spirit. And you think because you praying that the Most High hearing you or hearing me or whoever. Don't matter. You see? This is how we gotta look at this. Why you gotta learn it, live it, and apply it in your life. What works? What worked with our ancestors? We looking at Ezra. Who got more books than Ezra? Nobody. And the same thing he told Moses, the same thing he told Ezra. Keep this for those, for certain people, and hide this away from other people. That's why some things people don't know. In that thou hast humbled thyself, as it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. That's why I tell you, dare not make thyself one of the righteous. You know? And don't count yourself as one of the number. You got brothers talking about, you know, when I get to the kingdom, I'm going to do this. You ain't going to do nothing. Or what number are you of the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel? Because we're going to be 1/3. What number are you to 144,000? What gate are you going through? Guaranteed, you just the gate you going through. You don't know. None of us know. You don't know what's going to happen to you tomorrow. How many men I've seen that's in this truth that ain't in the truth no more? That ain't even dealing with this Bible no more. Walking around with a Christian mindset. Or walking around with an ankh. Egyptology and so forth. Powerful brothers that's not even dealing in the truth no more. Don't put yourself up on this pedestal, man. He that exalt himself shall be abased. He that humble himself shall be exalted. You see it right here? Can get no clear, just marvelous before the Most High. Make it mean something different. That's why I'm here to warn you. That's why I look for solutions. That our ancestors who are written in this Bible is giving us through the power of the Most High. For many great miseries, hear this? Many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time that we in right now shall dwell in the world. That's why myself shall say, if he ain't make the time short, will no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, he gonna make the time short. The Most High. Because they have walked in great pride. There it is. He tells us in the last days, great misery gonna be on this earth amongst the people. You talking about Jacob's trouble? Because Jacob walking in great pride. And in the nations, you know, They walking in great pride. That's why I say, look, 2 Ezra 15, it says, verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, this times we in now, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. Modern day soldiers gonna have guns and spoil their goods, rob the things that people have because of the lack of bread. Aren't we in a food shortage right now, a famine? Didn't Biden say there's gonna be food shortages? The lack of bread. And for great tribulation. No matter what I told you. Gotta go back there again. He told you. Some of you might be just coming in, tuning in. Matthew 24 and 21, he said, for then shall be great tribulation, as we see it's written in the Apocrypha that Ezra was given, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, because of great pride. Misery is going to be on this earth. No, nor ever shall be. And except those days shall be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. You understand? You look at them, those guide stones in Georgia. They got their agenda there. They want 500 million people on this earth. But the Most High said, through Mashiach Yahushua, except those days shall be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, children of Israel, the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel, those days shall be shortened. See, those days going to be shortened for the elect's sake. That's what we're looking at, man. So going back to, because the Most High told us he's going to die. He's going to be with those just like him. So we got to look at how was he? He was humble. It said he was humble. Verse 50 of 2 Ezra 8 chapter, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time that we are now shall dwell in the world. Why? Because they have walked in great pride. You see, that's why you got to be humble. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. See, that's why he told them. In 2 Ezra 14 and 6, that's why we're here. These words shall thou declare, and these shall thou hide, he said. Verse 9, for thou shalt be taken away from all, meaning he's going to die, Israel going to die, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son. You're going to remain with a Mashiach Yahushua, and with such as be like thee, until the times be ended. See that? Going back to 2 Ezra 8:51. But understand thou for thyself, understand this for yourself, Ezra, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. So that's very important. That he's telling them to seek out the glory of such as be like Ezra. For unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. It's already prepared, y'all. Righteousness is made ready. A city is built. New Jerusalem is built already. And rest is allowed. Rest is going to be allowed when we read Isaiah 14, 1-3. When he set up righteousness on this earth. Yeah, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the moth is hid from you. And corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end is showed the treasure of immortality, living forever and ever and ever. That's what it's talking about. And that's what we working toward, hopefully. So, look at Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. And verse 12. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus said the Most High Power, behold, O my people, O 12 tribes of Israel, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. You know, and you look at our graves, man, we pretty much a dead state of mind, too. Besides just coming out of the graves and bring us to the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Most High Power, when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, in that dead state of mind, and shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live. Hear that? We're going to live righteously, and I shall place you in your own land. He's going to place us in our own land. Then shall you know that I, the Most High, have spoken it and performed it, said the Most High. Right? That's why he said. Isaiah 14:1, I quoted it just now, but let's see how that rests. Isaiah 14:1-3. For the Most High will have mercy, which is not getting something you deserve, on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel. He's going to yet choose we as the Israelites, and set them in their own land. And the strangers, these other nations, a remnant of these other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. They're going to cleave to us. They're going to say, we know that the Most High with you. And the people shall take them. We're going to take these other nations, the remnant of these other nations, and bring them to their place. We're going to bring them to where they're going to be living at. And the house of Israel, the family of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, the 1/3 of the Israelites, shall possess them in the land of the Most High for service, men's service, and handmaids, women's servants, or slaves. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors. See that? That's the judgment. And they shall rule over their oppressors. We got next forever and ever and ever. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Most High shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. There ain't gonna be no more tears, remember? In the kingdom. And from thy fear. Fearing everything you could think of, except for the Most High. You thought you ain't gotta fear him. You should fear him. Most High don't give you the spirit of fear, but of power and a sound mind. And from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. See? That's why it's saying. Going into, back to Ezekiel 37:14. I shall put my spirit in you, and you shall live. And I shall place you in your own land. Right? Most High gonna do this. That's why don't let nobody tell you to come here, come here. The Most High gonna do this. And see, that's man getting glory. For everything to fall into the hands of living power. That's why he told us in Isaiah 60:21. That's what he said. In the kingdom. The Most High gonna do this. Thy people also shall be all righteous. That means we're going to keep the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting. Hear this? Don't let a man take the and hopefully men hearing this, they won't try and bring people to a land that the Most High have nothing to do with it. You hear what he said? The branch of my planting. People think to fall into the hands of living power. His name is jealous. The branch of my planting, he said, the work of my hands. Why? That I may be glorified. That's what it's all about, y'all. That's why he said, Ezekiel 37:14, I shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live. And I shall place you in your own land. That's the Most High, going to place us in our own land. Then shall ye know that I, the Most High Power, has spoken it and performed it, said the Most High. That's what the Most High telling us. The word of the Most High came again unto me, saying, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick, and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Right? Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. So this is dealing with the southern tribes, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and the northern tribes, representing all the rest of the 9 tribes of the 12 tribes of Israel. Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Asher, Naphtali, Issachar, who I'm leaving out, Manasseh, all the 9 tribes. And who are the northern tribes, which represent Joseph or Ephraim, and the southern tribes, which represent Judah, which would represent his companions are Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. He's saying, take one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim. Remember, the kingdom was split after King Solomon did what he did in marrying those strange women and making those idol temples and going there worshiping other idols, the gods of these other nations. The Most High didn't split the kingdom during his reign, but he split it under his son's Rehoboam's time. So the Most High said he's going to make 2 sticks, one for the southern tribes and one for the northern tribes. Verse 17, and join them one to another into one stick. So we're going to bring all the 12 tribes back together to be one stick. Join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. But he's going to bring all 12 tribes together. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? What is going on with this? What's happening? Say unto them, Thus say the Most High Power, Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim. Ephraim is the head tribe of the northern tribes. And the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, one nation. That's the Most High going to do. And they shall be one in mine hand. See? Going to be one nation again. Not 2 separate nations, but going to be one nation. That's what the Most High say he's going to do. All praise unto the Most High. And the sticks thereof shall thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes. Verse 21. And say unto them, Thus said the Most High Power, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen. See that? He gonna gather us from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own lands. We done read about the work of the Most High. His planning us into our own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, the kingdom of Israel. We're going to be one nation again. And one king shall be king to them all. And they shall be no more 2 nations. Neither shall they be divided into 2 kingdoms anymore at all. Because when you understand our story, how, like I said, the Most High split the kingdom once King Solomon dealt with these strange women and made idol temples and went in there and worshiped them. The Most High came to him twice and said, Don't do this, man, I love you. But he kept on in his older age. That's why you got to be very aware of how and who you deal with and letting them transform you from righteousness into wickedness. Because mostly everybody, like I said, the Gentiles, there's other nations, all women are still Gentiles in their mind if they're not dealing with trying to follow the truth to the best of their ability. Their minds are still Gentiles, you know? Women got to deal with men that's still Gentiles, that's really an Israelite. You have that same mindset. And it's saying, no, you in the world. You're not in the truth. You really dealing with the world. Or you lukewarm where you say he's going to spew you out of his mouth. Out of his mouth going to come a sharp sword. He's going to destroy, smite the nations. And we nations, that make up one nation. He said, all the sinners of my people going to die by the sword. He just said that. So don't think that we exempt from this. No. Start with us first. We got to know who we dealing with. How we got to deal with each other. And who you dealing with. Are they in a Gentile state of mind or are they really an Israelite? You only can fake it so long. Because he gonna make sure that's revealed. What he say, gonna make us one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. Neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols. Hear that? That's why we're learning about the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High and what's right from wrong right now. Know what their detestable things. Know what any of their transgressions breaking the Most High's laws. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places. This is what the Most High say he's going to do. Wherever we living in the four corners of the earth, he said, I will save them. Not no man. Ain't no man going to save you. Read your Bible in Deuteronomy 28:29. Say, ain't no man gonna save us. But y'all looking for men. Y'all trust in man instead of the Most High. Wherein they have sinned. Everywhere we have dwelt, we have sinned. And will cleanse them. He gonna clean us up. So shall they be my people, and I will be their power. Praise the Most High. Let's look at Jeremiah 31st chapter and verse 8. Behold, I will bring them from the north country. Are we in North America? And gather them from the coast of the earth. And with them, the blind and the lame, the women with child, and her that travaileth with child together. A great company shall return thither. Hear that? Women that's pregnant, and those women that's travailing with child together. Having no contractions. Say, I'm going to bring them. Going to be women that's going to be ready to have a baby. Going to bring them out of this captivity. They shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers of waters in a straight way, to his laws, statutes, commandments, wherein they shall not stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Say, hear the word of the Most High, all ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off. Even in the islands, he said, and say, he that scattereth Israel, he that scattereth us among all these nations will gather him. He gonna gather us from all these nations and keep him as a shepherd does his flock. Now, if we done away with, how can he gather us? How can this be true? All the things that we done went over so far. He said, hear the word of the Most High, all ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, even in the islands afar off, he said, and say, he that scattereth Israel, the Most High scattereth among all these nations, will gather him. He gonna gather us and keep him as a shepherd does his flock. For the Most High have redeemed Jacob. Hear that? The Most High has redeemed Jacob and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. Hear that? So, You can rejoice. That's why it tells us in verse 7, for thus say the Most High, sing with gladness for Jacob, and shout among the chief of the nations. Publish ye, praise ye, and say, O Most High, save thy people, the remnant of Israel, the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel. You know, sound good to me. Let's go to Ephesians, the 4th chapter. That's salvation, powers and authority coming on this earth, our righteous kingdom. Coming out of this madness forever and ever and ever. Yes. Ephesians 4 and let's start at verse 3. Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. See, there is one body and one Spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. One Master, one faith, one baptism, one power and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. Talking to who? The Israelites. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of a Mashiach. So we know that we read in Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 9 that the grace is given to the saints. Grace and mercy is given to the saints. Like you have these preachers talking about we under grace. You ain't under the grace, you're a Gentile. The grace and mercy only given to the Israelites because we the only ones that was given the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. He ain't never dealt with no Gentiles. We just read that in Psalms 147, 19, 20. He showed his word unto Jacob, his law, statutes, commandments unto Israel. He has not dealt so with any of the nation. As for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Most High. So it's saying, but unto every one of us, who is the us, is given grace. Who is the us? Is Paul's writing? Y'all think he's talking to the other nations? See, that's a problem. That's why the Most High, he let this Bible go down to the pit with us, it says. That they would think that he's talking to them. Because if they knew that it wasn't talking to them, they probably destroyed all the Bibles. Like I did a lesson on how I put out how they was, trying to get rid of the Bible. And especially what it is that we're bringing out that this Bible is talking about. Because it says, look, but unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of a Mashiach Yahweh Shai. So let's go back to Ephesians 1 and see who he's talking to. Ephesians 1 and 1. This is how you determine who all these books that Paul was writing to concerning the Gentiles is talking to. Paul, an apostle of Mashiach Yahweh Shai, who said in Matthew 15:24, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Listen, Paul, an apostle of Mashiach Yahweh Shai, by the will of the Most High, to the saints. To the saints. I'll say it again. To the saints. So the book of Ephesians is addressed to the saints, which are at Ephesus, the land of Ephesus, and to the faithful by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. That's in the name of the Lord and Savior, right? Grace be to you and peace from the Most High, our Father, who's the Father, the Most High, the power of who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. He said that's his name forever and immortal, all generations, from the master of Mashiach Yahweh Shai, right? So let's look at this. Just proving that us is talking to the saints. Who the saints? Just in case some of you missed it, when I went over there, the Psalms 148 and 14. Let's go the long route. Who are the saints? Let's go to Psalms 50 and 5. Psalms 50 and 5. gather my saints. We prove who the saints are because it's saying to the saints. So if you look at to the saints, most of the first verses of every chapter in the New Testament that Paul's writing is saying to the saints. So who is he talking to? Psalms 50 and 5, proving who the saints are, who he's talking to, the us that he's saying. Gather my saints together unto me, who are those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. So who is the covenant with? Who the Most High have his covenant with? Let's find out. Let the Bible answer itself. And right quick. You can write down Jeremiah 31:31 down. And the same thing that's written in Jeremiah 31:31 down is written in Hebrews 8 and 8 down. Okay? But we're going to see, get right to the point of who his covenant was with. Go to Psalms 105 and 8. Psalms 105 and 8. Because those who have made a covenant with me by sacrifice, right? What people sacrifice animals for the atonement of their sins. That's why you see who the covenant with. Psalms 105 and 8. He had remembered his covenant, or his contract, or his agreement, his laws forever. The word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant, which contract or agreement he made with Abraham. And his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. Okay? Now let's go back to Psalms 148 and 14. We define who the saints are without a shadow of a doubt. Psalms 148:14. So he had his covenant with who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to the 12 tribes of Israel for an everlasting covenant. We just read that. He also exalted the horn, which is the power of his people, the praise of all his saints. Who are they? Even of the children of Israel. Who are we? A people near unto the Most High. Praise ye the Most High. Let's continue. Psalms 149 and 1. Praise ye the Most High. Sing unto the Most High a new song, and his praise in the congregation of saints. What does it say? Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. See? You're not going to get away from that. So, you look at Ephesians, Corinthians, all the books that Paul wrote. Romans, all I'm talking to the children of Israel, 12 tribes of Israel. Let's look at Hosea, the first chapter, the 10th verse. Let's revisit it. Because y'all talk about Israel been done away with, now you can be a spiritual Israelite. When the Most High done said, in the end, he's going to gather us from all these nations and bring us into our own land. Hosea 1 and 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, like you poor-chopping preachers telling our people that are Israelites, like myself, that they're Gentiles. And they've been grafted in, but the people don't have enough sense to ask, well, who are we grafted in among? What people are we grafted in among? Ask that question. Since y'all saying that, y'all regurgitating what they're telling you, ask that question to your pastor or whoever it is that you following. Who are we grafted in among? What people are we grafted in among? Because you are the people of the book. You ain't grafted in among yourself. That's why he said. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. You are the sons of the Most High. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together. Remember, you're going to make the two sticks, you're going to make them one stick. Going to be gathered together, the northern tribes and the southern tribes, and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land. But great shall be the day of Jezreel. Great going to be the day of we the Israelites, being saved from our enemies and being saved from the hand of all that hate us. All praise unto the Most High. Isaiah 11:11. Isaiah 11:11.